Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now, onto the latest news. A warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail. The room was already thick with whispers before the cameras even started rolling. The sort of uneasy buzz that spreads when folks sense something big is about to unfold. Supporters, journalists, and pundits alike had gathered with that familiar curiosity that surrounds a Celtic press conference. But there was a different tone in the air this time. When Callum McGregor walked in, calm as ever, yet carrying a weight that didn't go unnoticed, the murmurs grew louder. The captain, a man who has long embodied the spirit of Celtic FC, took his seat and paused before speaking, as if choosing each word carefully. What followed quickly turned into the sort of moment that sparks endless debate across pubs, living rooms, and online forums across Scotland. McGregor hinted, without dramatic flair but with unmistakable sincerity, that his time at Celtic might be approaching its final chapter. It wasn't framed as a sudden decision, nor as something born out of frustration. Instead, he spoke about reflection, about journeys in football that evolve with time, and about the responsibility of knowing when a cycle might be reaching its natural end. For many watching, it felt less like a simple statement and more like the opening of a door to speculation, the kind that fuels supporters' imaginations and keeps football chatter alive long into the night. What made the moment even more striking was the quiet honesty in McGregor's tone. He didn't slam the door on Celtic, nor did he deliver a dramatic farewell speech, but he spoke in a way that left the room hanging on every syllable. Supporters know well that he has been one of the beating hearts of the club for years, rising through the academy ranks and eventually wearing the captain's armband with pride. His story has been deeply tied to Celtic's identity, which is why the mere suggestion of a departure sent a ripple through the fan base. Observers began to read between the lines of his remarks, especially when he spoke about challenges, personal growth, and the idea that every footballer eventually reaches a moment where new horizons start calling. Around the same time, comparisons started surfacing with legendary figures associated with the club's history, including icons such as Billy McNeill, whose leadership left a permanent mark on Celtic lore. While McGregor never placed himself in such company, the symbolic nature of his role within the squad made the discussion unavoidable. The press conference slowly transformed from a routine media appearance into something far more intriguing, a spark for endless speculation about what might truly lie behind his carefully measured words. As the conversation unfolded, the questions from journalists became increasingly pointed, though still respectful of the captain's standing within the club. McGregor remained composed, offering thoughtful responses that revealed just enough to keep the speculation alive, while avoiding any definitive statement that would shut down the discussion entirely. He spoke about loyalty, about gratitude towards Celtic supporters, and about the privilege of representing such a historic institution. Yet woven through those remarks were subtle hints that change might be on the horizon. At one moment, he reflected on how quickly a football career can pass, mentioning how players sometimes wake up and realize they've spent the majority of their lives inside the same dressing room. That comment alone sparked immediate reactions among reporters, many of whom began wondering whether he might be considering a challenge beyond Scotland. Naturally, whispers of interest from clubs beyond the borders began circulating again, with some fans recalling previous links between McGregor and sides in England's top flight, particularly the ever-competitive environment of the Premier League. None of those rumors were confirmed, of course, but the mere possibility added another layer of intrigue to an already captivating moment. Supporters following the conference online reacted almost instantly, flooding social media with theories about what McGregor's comments could truly mean. Some believed the captain was simply reflecting on the long journey he has shared with Celtic, while others were convinced that a departure was quietly being prepared behind the scenes. The tone of the discussion quickly shifted from curiosity to emotional reflection, with fans posting clips of his most memorable performances and recalling the countless nights when his leadership steadied the team. That emotional connection is precisely why the possibility of his exit feels so significant. McGregor has long been seen as the bridge between Celtic's past and its present, a player who understood the club's culture from the inside out. Even within the club's current structure under manager Brendan Rodgers, McGregor's influence has been widely acknowledged. The idea that such a central figure might soon move on inevitably raises questions about what the next chapter could look like, not only for the player himself, but also for the team that has leaned on his consistency for so long. Inside the press room, however, McGregor remained focused on the present rather than the speculation swirling around him. He emphasized that his commitment to Celtic had never wavered and that every match still meant the world to him. Yet, even as he spoke those reassuring words, there was a sense that something deeper was being communicated. Footballers rarely hold press conferences like this without a broader context, and seasoned observers could sense that the captain was carefully preparing supporters for a conversation that might continue to unfold in the coming weeks. His reflections on leadership were particularly telling, as he spoke about younger players stepping up and learning to carry the club's values forward. Some journalists interpreted that as a subtle hint that the squad might soon be entering a transitional phase. In Scottish football, such transitions often come with emotional farewells, especially when they involve figures who have grown alongside the club itself. The mention of Celtic's history and the responsibility of wearing the armband only deepened the sense that McGregor was reflecting on his legacy as much as on his immediate future. By the time the conference neared its end, the atmosphere had shifted from curiosity to genuine intrigue. No official announcement had been delivered in the traditional sense, yet the suggestion that McGregor might one day step away from Celtic had been planted firmly in the public imagination. For supporters, the thought alone was enough to trigger a flood of questions about where such a journey might lead. Would the captain seek a new adventure abroad, perhaps testing himself in another league? Could he remain within the Celtic family in a different role, guiding the next generation from the sidelines? Or was this simply the beginning of a longer conversation that would unfold slowly over time? McGregor himself offered no clear roadmap, and perhaps that was intentional. Football thrives on these moments of uncertainty, where rumors grow and speculation spreads like wildfire. What remained undeniable, however, was the emotional gravity of the moment. The captain had spoken with sincerity, and whether his words marked the beginning of a farewell or merely a moment of reflection, the entire Celtic community was left watching closely, wondering what might come next. As the echoes of that press conference continued to ripple through the football world, the speculation only intensified. Supporters of Celtic began dissecting every sentence spoken by Callum McGregor, analyzing tone, pauses, and even the expressions on his face as he addressed the media. In Scottish football culture, such moments rarely pass quietly, and the idea that the captain of Celtic FC might be contemplating a departure has become the dominant conversation among fans. Some insiders quietly suggested that McGregor's words were not a sudden revelation, but rather the result of months of personal reflection. Football careers move quickly, and even the most loyal players eventually reach a crossroads where ambition, opportunity, and legacy all intersect. In that context, the captain's remarks about new challenges have taken on a deeper meaning. A few pundits have gone so far as to claim that conversations behind closed doors could already be taking place, perhaps involving clubs eager to secure the services of a midfielder renowned for his intelligence and leadership. Whether those whispers hold truth or not remains uncertain, yet the simple possibility has been enough to ignite a fresh wave of rumors across Scotland and beyond. Among the most discussed theories is the idea that McGregor could be considering a move beyond Scottish football altogether. While he has built his reputation as a symbol of Celtic's identity, many observers believe his style of play would translate smoothly to other competitions. His composure on the ball, positional awareness, and tactical discipline have long drawn admiration from analysts who follow the broader European game. Because of that, speculation about potential interest from clubs within the Premier League has resurfaced once again. These rumors are far from new, but McGregor's recent comments have given them fresh momentum. Supporters have begun imagining scenarios where the Celtic captain might test himself against a different level of weekly competition, perhaps seeking one final challenge before the latter stages of his career. At the same time, there are voices within the Celtic fanbase who find that idea difficult to accept. For them, McGregor represents something rare in modern football, a player whose loyalty to one club has defined his entire professional story. The tension between those two perspectives has turned the rumor mill into a whirlwind of emotion. Another angle that has quietly emerged revolves around the possibility that McGregor's future might remain connected to Celtic even if his playing days eventually take him elsewhere. Within the club's culture, former captains often return in different capacities, guiding younger players or contributing to the long-term vision of the organization. That tradition has been shaped by figures like Billy McNeil, whose legacy continues to influence how leadership is perceived within the club. Some supporters have begun wondering whether McGregor might already be thinking about life beyond the pitch, perhaps laying the groundwork for a role that would keep him tied to the Celtic story. Of course, these ideas remain purely speculative, yet they reflect how deeply his presence has become woven into the club's identity. The press conference itself may have lasted only a short time, but its impact has stretched far beyond that room. Every comment is now being interpreted through the lens of what McGregor might do next, and the possibilities seem to grow with each passing conversation. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. Meanwhile, within the dressing room, teammates have reportedly reacted with a mixture of curiosity and admiration. McGregor's leadership has always been described as calm and steady rather than loud or theatrical, which makes the idea of his eventual departure even more significant. Players who have grown alongside him understand how central his influence has been in shaping the team's mentality. Under the guidance of manager Brendan Rodgers, the squad has often relied on McGregor's voice to maintain focus during intense moments. That dynamic has led some observers to wonder how the team would adapt if the captain were truly preparing for a new chapter. Football clubs inevitably evolve, yet replacing a leader of that stature is never straightforward. Even if the transition were to happen gradually, the emotional weight of such a change would be felt across the entire organization. For now, though, those inside the club appear determined to keep their attention fixed on the present while the speculation continues outside. The wider Scottish football community has also begun to weigh in, with former players and pundits offering their own interpretations of the situation. Some believe McGregor's comments were simply the reflections of a seasoned professional looking back on a long journey. Others are convinced that such carefully chosen words rarely appear without a deeper reason. In the modern game, announcements often unfold slowly, with hints and signals emerging before any official confirmation. That possibility has led many to treat the press conference as the first chapter of a larger story still waiting to be revealed. Regardless of the outcome, there is a shared sense that McGregor's contribution to Celtic will remain unforgettable. From his earliest days breaking into the first team to his years wearing the captain's armband, he has been part of countless defining moments in the club's recent history. Those memories have made supporters fiercely protective of his legacy, which explains why the rumor of his departure carries such emotional weight. As the speculation continues to swirl, one thing remains clear: the story surrounding Callum McGregor is far from finished. The captain himself has neither confirmed nor denied that a departure is imminent, leaving supporters suspended in a state of anticipation. In many ways, that uncertainty reflects the unpredictable nature of football itself, where careers twist and turn in ways few can foresee. What began as a thoughtful press conference has now evolved into one of the most talked-about narratives in Scottish football. Fans gather in pubs, scroll endlessly through online discussions, and debate every possible outcome for the man who has become synonymous with Celtic's modern era. Whether his words signal the beginning of a farewell or simply a moment of reflection, the conversation shows no sign of fading anytime soon. And until McGregor speaks again with greater clarity, the rumor will continue to grow, drifting through the football world like a story waiting patiently for its final chapter. Hello, fan. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.